Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Alan and today I want to touch on a subject of your home being damaged. And this could be, as in the thumbnail, that was fairly local to me. That was some potheads that had a grow farm in their property and it exploded. Or it could be that you're in a country where it's not unknown for you to have a drone attack, missile attack, chemical spill. You know, it's just basically anything that can happen that can damage your property. Now, obviously, if you're at ground zero, then you've got to pray to whoever you pray to that you survive. However, this is primarily aimed at secondary damage. So it could be that a house or a building, you know, a few hundred yards away, whatever, was ground zero and you're dealing with a secondary damage such as windows being blown out, or it could be contamination in the air, something like that. And I want to show and discuss some simple items. They're relatively inexpensive that perhaps you could consider storing at home. And when I say at home, in your property, not in your shed, not in your garage, so that should the worst happen, you've at least got some items, one, for self-rescue, and two, to perhaps make your property secure. Let's face it, if it's I won't say a minor problem, you know, because it's going to be a major problem. But if the problem's just your property or a couple of properties, then yeah, you're going to have the emergency services that can come and deal with it. You can go to your local DIY place and get sheets of plywood cut to size, or you could phone up an emergency glazier and they'll come up and put temporary windows in. But if it's a larger scale problem, that's gone out the window, they wouldn't be able to cope, and you're going to be left on your own to try and improvise and make safe. Let's have a look. PPE. Whee, don't go on about health and safety. Yeah, but PPE, seriously. Some protective goggles. If there is a problem, if there's debris in the atmosphere, if there's potential for there to be glass or rubble, even just some bog standard safety goggles are going to help to protect your eyes. Because if your eyes are damaged, let's face it, you're pretty much up poop street. You can't operate. You're not going to be able to get your family from, you know, one room to another or out, or deal with the aftermath. So really, some safety goggles. Doesn't matter where you get them. Yeah, just get some safety goggles. Ideally, one pair for each member of your family. Not expensive, but worth having. Some work gloves. These are cut resistant. They won't stop your fingers getting cut off. They're not Kevlar lined, it's fiberglass. These are about 15 quid on Amazon. But if you're picking up rubble or shards of glass, these will offer your hands protection. The next item, some people are going to poo-poo it, some are going to laugh, and some are just going to think it's not worth it. Others might think, well, yeah, the fret's big enough, so it's something that I'm going to do. Remember, not everyone watching this video is in the UK. You could be in a country where it's not unknown for them to do, you know, drones, missiles, or worse. Some form of protective hat or helmet. I'm not talking about Kevlar lined, ballistic. This one's for working at heights. You've got your normal hard hats or bump caps. You could even, at a push, be looking at bicycle helmets. This, if things are likely to fall on your noggin, is better to have than just having it hit you on the head. It might not save you, but the chances are it will reduce the risk of things bashing you on the bonds. You make your own mind up if this is a step too far. Next thing I want to talk about, tools for self-rescue. Most households, I will assume, have a toolkit in their property for doing a bit of DIY, working on the car, whatever it is you do. If you don't have a toolkit, then I suggest you buy one. It will save you money in the long run if you can learn to do jobs without having to call someone in. Right, the tools that I'm about to show you, however, are primarily, you know, in this scenario, for aiding your evacuation. Or if your property is damaged and you can't get access to perhaps a room where your loved ones are, they should help you get to those people. A very big pry bar. This one is just over, I believe, 3 foot long. It's 1/2 inch box section, but it's not box section because it's solid bar. 1/2 inch bar, chisel point on the end, steel cap on the handle so you can hammer it, you can drive it through. Obviously, nice and big means that if you're not like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you've got a mechanical advantage if you've got to lever something. Doesn't matter what make it is. This I think is a Silverline one, which is sort of a budget tool one. On Amazon, not particularly expensive. In my opinion, worth having, kept in the house, under the stairs, whatever, just in case. The other thing it's really useful is just for general DIY, especially if you're mucking around with doors. Yeah, you put that under the door, you can let the weight of it hold the door while you're under the hinges. I'm waffling. A smaller pry bar. This one's made by Draper. I've had it quite a long while. Again, it doesn't matter what the make is, but a smaller pry bar. I would not really go any smaller than this because you lose that mechanical advantage. But if you've got a door jammed or a window jammed, you can try this or the big boy. Now, as I said before, you're likely to have a toolkit, which is good, but get a club hammer. They come in different sizes. It is handy. You can use this with the pry bars, use this to smash the window, smash the door down, knock the hinges off, whatever you've got to do. Again, not ridiculously expensive. Everyone should have a club hammer, and you ladies. Now, if you're uber prepared, you've already had all your windows and doors measured up, and you've got 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch marine ply already cut, labelled up, and the fixings already attached to your property. So if you had to board it up, you're good to go. The majority of us don't do that. So what we need to do is we need to think about is if our property has secondary damage, I'm not talking about its collapse because then you're brown bread, but if it's damaged, so you can feasibly still live in it, but perhaps you've got windows put through, doors are gone, something like that, then you're going to need some materials to make at least temporary repairs. Now, we've already touched on the fact that you should have a DIY toolkit, but you should also have a good assortment of screws and nails, and ideally an electric drill that has a hammer capability so you can drill masonry, some drill bits, raw plugs, that sort of thing. For other issues, we're looking at polythene sheeting. I have a number of, I'm going to call them recycled. I got them from work. These are polythene sheets. I've had them quite a while. I got them primarily when Pekka had invaded Ukraine, and I thought that things could potentially get really bad, so I could actually seal areas off. This is thick polythene. You can buy the thick polythene on Amazon. They do it for polytunnels, so you can buy like a big sheets of it. It can be about 20 quid a go, but it is a big, you know, it's a big sheet. You need to decide whether or not you're prepared to go that far. A cheaper option, although not as durable, are the sort of decorating dust sheets. This one, I believe, I will check, and if I'm wrong, I'll put a note on the screen, was about 10 quid. And there are 6 polythene sheets in here, and each one is 12 foot by 9 foot. So there are 6 polythene sheets, 12 foot by 9 foot. They could be used to board up a window. If there's contamination in the air, you can use that to seal areas off. Or really, if it was the winter and things were really bad, you know, the grid's gone down and you're freezing your whatsits off, you could use these within the room to create an inner sanctum, a little bit like a tent. You've got the outer and then the inner, and these will hold the heat in. But these will, if you've got a broken window, you can cover that to keep the wind and rain out, but they are thin. They're nowhere near as thick as that polythene sheet that I showed you a moment ago, but they are relatively cheap. As long as you keep them out of direct sunlight, there's no reason why these won't last for donkey's years. Don't dismiss your normal bin bags. Although they're black, you're not going to let any daylight in and see, but they're a waterproof barrier. They can be cut open, again, to cover windows or damage to your property. Then we have the old blue, other colours are available, tarps. This is a 3 metre by 3 metre one. I keep this as part of my water collection, which I've done a video on previously, but obviously it's the tarp, so it's multifunctional. If there's, you know, if the shed roof's blown off, I can put this over it. If there's a hole in the roof and I can get to it, then potentially I can do this. Or again, doors, windows can be sealed off from the elements, relatively cheap. eBay, Amazon, pound shop, you know, whatever your poison is. And finally, some items that will help you fix the sheeting, that sort of thing. A staple gun. If your property has a lot of stud walls, a lot of plasterboard, then you could put a sheet up and use a staple gun to keep that in place. If it's masonry, you're going to struggle. The other thing, Gorilla Tape. This is a massive roll of Gorilla Tape. It's the stuff that's just under 2 inches wide, and this is 32 meters of Gorilla Tape. Again, you can use this to, if you've got cracked or broken glass, to keep the glass together, or use it with the polythene sheets to actually cover up any openings that weren't there before. Now, whilst we're talking about that, another option that you've got, as I've said, in an ideal world, you will have loads of ply, pre-cut, ready to go. Most of us haven't. B&Q or whatever may not be feasible, because if it's a fairly large scale problem, it's going to get wiped out pretty quick. What you could consider doing at a push in a real emergency is, if your loft has been boarded out, you can go up there and remove the boards from the loft, because they went in through the hatch, so they'll come out through the hatch, and you've now got some timber that you can use to reinforce or seal. The other option that you've got, again at a push, is your interior doors. You could take a door off and use that again to block something that's been compromised. That's it. I would love to read your comments. Is this something you've given thought to? Is this something that you're prepared for? Most of us say that if there's a problem, we're going to stay at home, we're going to plug in and all the rest of it. But if your property is damaged, it's compromised, and as I said, I'm not talking about that you're ground zero, but if it's secondary damage, have you got some equipment and some items at hand within your property that can help secure it? Anyway, that's it for today. I will be seeing you very, very soon. If you found the video useful, give us one of them. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and if you want to share the video, share it. Have a lovely day. It's going to be something like 30 odd degrees, which means I'll melt and be even more moany than normal. Take care. See you soon.